You just decided to hyper focus on the Muslims. Why not keep the same energy to the Jews and to the other Christian weirdos? So the
only thing Jewish about Aiden Ross is his bank account, okay? I do not believe this guy, okay? With an audience full...
Nobody goes around and finds every single white male and says, you're a school shooter. Nobody goes around to the
you've never heard somebody make school shooters? Bro, I'm pretty sure...
The Japanese and tell them you this goddamn genociding. Nobody does that. You know they don't.
The fact that you even struggle, nothing that you says, literally nothing you says past this point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say.
Also, one more thing.
Yep.
Cause I smell pussy, and I gotta address this. You know what I mean? I smell some fish in the sea.
Okay.
Aiden, aka Juden, right, was the one who fucking started everything. Like, he's the one who like came at you, but you're not attacking his faith. Most of the niggas that are in that Aiden loyals community are non-Muslim. Most of the niggas that probably like the fucking mod with the gun and all those fucking other weirdos, right? Most of them are non-Muslim. Matter of fact, if you go to their fucking Aiden loyals goddamn page, it's literally a whole bunch of Christians versus a whole bunch of Muslims. It's all like a mess.
Jesus Christ.
You didn't fucking go at their shit. You just decided to hyper focus on the Muslims when it was a Jew ass nigga. I don't know. That sounded crazy. Listen, I don't got no problem with Jews. But when it was a Jew ass nigga who initiated the whole thing, and it was a whole bunch of non-Muslims that were doxing and threatening to kill you, why not keep the same energy to the fucking Jews and to the other Christian weirdos?
Who are the Jews in his community?
The fucking Aiden, the biggest Jew.
Aiden isn't. He doesn't know any. I don't. He's even done his like bar mitzvah or whatever.
Oh, he didn't. He actually spoke about it. He didn't.
I don't believe that. I don't think so. That motherfucker barely speaks English. There's no way he learned a second language for this shit. I don't believe it. Okay, I don't believe it.
They're most of the
only thing Jewish about Aiden Ross is his bank account. Okay, I do not believe this guy. Okay, with an audience full of fucking 10-year-olds. Okay, there's no part of this guy that is like worshiping the Jewish faith. Okay, no shot. I don't. I'm not saying
that he's a hardcore like practicer.
He's like Jewish in ethnicity. Okay, that doesn't even count religiously. What am I supposed to make fun of him for? You have curly hair.
No. I'm just saying you could keep the same energy because he's going to take offense to it, and at the end of the day, that's what you aim to do.
I already made it. No, he doesn't. Because one,
he does.
No, he doesn't. I made a Jewish joke the last time we spoke. I said, I think you're a nice guy. I think you're a real human, even though you're Jewish. And I left, and you just said, oh, and he didn't give a fuck. You know why? No. Because online, Jewish people don't give a fuck if you make jokes about them. Nobody cares. You guys think they do, but they don't. But as soon as you start making fun of Muslims,
Hold on a second. There is a complete difference between, like, you're not human because you're Jewish. Like this softest this versus, you're a suicide bomber. You're this, playing off all the stereotypes that you could think of, right?
What? Okay, tell me, what are the Jewish stereotypes I need to play off of? Tell me.
You know all the
Tell me a couple.
And by the way, okay, hold on. I'll take
you understand, right? There's a difference between how these people integrate the religion into their life. There's one Jewish state, and it's a democracy. There's like 60 Muslim ones, and they're all theocracies. The way that you guys run your shit is way different. You can't pretend that it's the same. Most Jewish people don't even give a fuck about their religion. The whole founding of Israel was secular Jews. What am I gonna make fun of Aiden Ross for about Jewish religion? Please tell me. Give me a joke. Give me one, please. Go.
Wait, hold on. Let me understand this first of all before I get into that. You're telling me that you cannot even make Jew jokes because most Jews don't give a fuck. They don't care. You could literally
what do you want me to do? Make a Passover joke? Ask me to ran out of candles for his Hanukkah shit? Like, what the fuck am I supposed to say?
Can I call out the hypocrisy? Because the same people that cry discrimination, anti-Semitism, racism, all that garbage, you're telling me those people don't take offense to anything. You're telling me those people are like just...
We're not talking... Hold on. You just ran those goalposts. We're not talking, do people take offense to anything? We're talking about making jokes. There's a difference between saying like, well, you're a suicide. There's a difference between saying like, there's a difference between saying like, oh, you're a Muslim suicide bomber, and then someone else going like, oh, well, I think your entire country should be wiped off the face of the earth. Those are two totally different things. One is a joke and one isn't. These are two different things.
No, hold on. No, first of all, you took it there when you're talking about, I think your whole country should be wiped off of the face of the planet. First of all, Aiden Ross is American. Second of all, I didn't tell you to just say, let's destroy Israel, even though generally you would probably make the same jokes if it was a Muslim country going through the same shit. You would. Let's not act like you wouldn't.
I would make the jokes for any country. Okay, wait, real quick on one. Who's been canceled for telling Jewish jokes? Has this happened? Ever?
Oh my God, no shot. You believe?
Can you give me one example?
Canceled over saying the softest. Shit. Now
No,
you're
no,
just
no.
pulling the
Oh,
the
no,
name
no, no,
five
no. Hold
books.
on. Let me rephrase my question.
Come
I'm
on.
going to say this question one more time because it's not you didn't hear me.
Go ahead.
Has anybody been canceled for telling anti-Jew jokes?
Has anybody been canceled over shitting on Jews comedically? I'm sure there's been plenty.
Hold on.
Yes.
Now that's a
I'm sure
different.
there's
That
been
was you
plenty.
just. That was very tricky. So you said,
How?
has anybody been canceled for shitting on Jews? Let me try that one more time. Has anybody been canceled for making Jewish jokes?
I'm sure there's been.
There we go. Okay. Gotcha.
No, hold on.
Okay.
Just because I can't. Wait, hold on. How did you get me though? Just because I
Because
can't name
you're
them?
telling me
Okay.
that this problem is so obvious and so ubiquitous and so transparently horrible in all society, and I ask you for a single person that's happening, you can't think of
Wait,
one.
hold on. No, wait, hold on. Are you trying to claim? Because I need to understand where you're coming from. First of all, what are you trying to claim? That you can't make jokes because there's no material to make jokes on?
Here's what I'm claiming. Here's the issue. The issue is I make jokes against Muslims, and then you come back and you go, oh, well, you never make those jokes against Jews because you'll get canceled for it. And then I go, well, one, I don't even know any jokes about Jews I would make. Can you give me an example of somebody getting canceled by Jewish jokes? And then you go, what about all these people promoting Holocaust denial books?
Okay,
These
hold
aren't
on, hold on,
jokes.
hold on.
What are you talking about?
Hold on. So to you, you're drawing the differentiation between, oh, these are obviously perceived as jokes versus, no, this is just obviously anti-Semitic. Who the made you the arbiter of which is which? Because to you, your jokes could be just seen as
Who made me the arbiter of which is which?
anti-Islam.
It is anti-Islam.
Okay, so when you're anti-Jew, you get and you know you get.
Oh, when you're
Yes, you do. Go ask Mel Gibson. How about that? Go ask all the fucking people that.
Okay.
Go
Hold on.
ask Kyrie
Let me
Irving,
explain the
who
trick.
literally just
There you
tweeted
go.
a fucking book
That's
on
great.
fucking the Amazon.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
You
Go ahead.
won my whole argument for me. Thank you. Okay.
Tell me how.
You're saying, if you can't be anti-Jew, then you shouldn't be anti-Islamic. Anti-Islamic and making fun of a religion is different than being anti-Jew and making fun of the ethnicity. There is no. If I was being anti-Arabic, when you suicide bomber, yeah, I know a lot of brown people that aren't Muslim, dog. What the f are you talking about?
That's not the fucking nature of the joke that you said, though.
What is the name? Hold on. I'm sorry. Do brown people suicide bomb or is it Islamic jihadists? What is this? No. Tell me, Q. Where does this bomb joke come from? What is the joke?
Now you're just trying to blur the lines.
I'm not blurring the line. No. Hold on. To be clear, my line is super clear.
You tell me. Okay, you tell me. How did you mean it? You tell me.
I can tell you the line is very clear. Islamic radical extremists are known for strapping on vests and blowing themselves up. It's kind of your thing. Like 90% of the world's suicide bombings come from radical jihadists.
No. Stop. Nobody fucking goes around, right? Because most school shooters happen to be white males. Nobody goes around and finds every single white male and says, you're a school shooter. Nobody goes around to the fucking
you've never heard somebody make school shooters? Bro, I'm pretty sure.
The Japanese and tell them you fucking this goddamn genociding. Nobody does that. You know they don't. The only people.
Hold on. I want to hear that one more time. Repeat that.
Go ahead.
Repeat that for me one more time. Say that one more time. Say, nobody tells white people, ha ha ha, you look like a school shooter. Let me hear that one more time. I want to hear you say that one more time. Nobody makes that joke. I want to hear that one more time, please.
To the degree that a Muslim person receives a suicide bomb joke, it is not even remotely close. Nobody fucking looks at a white person.
Wait,
hold on.
How many white people are school shooters, Q? What is like 20?
How many Muslims are suicide bombers? Are you retarded?
I'm just saying, you said to the degree.
Okay.
How many white school shooters are there? Actually, you know what? If you want to get super technical about it, depending on what you consider a school shooting, there's a higher per capita black school shooters than white school shooters.
By the way, no. There's probably more school shooters that are white than suicide bombers that are Muslim. I'm very comfortable making that claim, first of all. Second of all,
really, in all the world full of white people, a higher percentage of white people are school shooters than there are percentage. I don't know what the actual numbers are for that. I don't know what the overall numbers of suicide bombers historically are. So you might be right, you might not.
I am willing to stick by that.
But the difference is, there's nothing about being white that makes you a suicide or that makes you a school shooter. There might be something.
That's the. So now you're claiming that there is something in Islam that just makes you a suicide bomber, right?
Yes.
There is none, because if that were the case, then you're claiming that 2 billion people are not following the faith correctly, but this 20,000, 30,000 people, they're the ones that got it right. Now, how
can you give me? I'm curious. Can you give me the equivalent of like a shaheed in Christianity? Can you give me the equivalent of somebody killing themselves and other people for their faith?
Hold on.
What? Yeah.
Hold on. You're telling me martyrdom doesn't exist? in Christianity itself?
Here's my understanding. Tell me if I'm wrong. When we have martyrs in Christianity, they're people that sacrifice themselves for God. They don't blow themselves up with others and do it. Now, is there other examples of Christianity that I'm not aware of? Can you tell me?
That's how it is in Islam. Just because
gotcha.
No, hold on.
Okay.
Just because a
think that they have like the explosions in the vest are too big if they're not supposed to take other people with them.
Okay, hold on. Your problem is you're willing to look at these guys, take their word at face value, believe everything they're saying is correct. Oh, you're blowing yourself up because your faith told you to do so. Oh, then I believe you. Oh, it's because you're Muslim. Oh, then I believe you. Wait, all the terrorists in the world combined don't even make up a fraction of a fraction of a fraction.
Wait. But hold on, Q. You said earlier. Q, you fought for this earlier. You said you guys all follow the same religion. Remember? It's all the exact same book, all of the completely unaltered.
And then obviously we have retards. You think? No, hold on. Just because humans are fallible, just because humans are retarded, doesn't take away from the faith. Just because you could have somebody who's liberal but is a goddamn pedophile or is a goddamn, why would I then look at that person and say, you know what? Because he's liberal. It just makes sense. It just makes sense to me. No, it doesn't. And you ignoring the vast majority of Muslims.
I'm not ignoring the vast majority of Muslims.
You are.
Most of them don't suicide bomb. Just like most Catholics don't rape kids. Most Muslims don't suicide bomb. Okay. All I'm saying is that if I had a friend who was suicidal, okay. I'm not gonna make that joke. Listen,
say why not?
Rewinding, because you got me off track, because you're really good at that. You recognize there's a difference between making jokes about, and not even jokes really, by the way, but you haven't given me one of yet. There's a difference between attacking the Jewish ethnicity versus making jokes about the Muslim faith. If you want to compare these two things, if you want to compare these things, me making fun of Arabs or making racist Arab jokes, that would be similar to making anti-Semitic, anti-Jew jokes. That's the comparison you're looking for. But nobody does that. Most Americans, no offense, don't even know what the f*** Arab is. I love you, Americans.
By the way, most jokes that are made towards Muslims come from anti-Arab sentiment because most people associate Islam with the Middle East, even though the vast majority of Muslims come outside of the Middle East, aka Indonesia, Bangladesh, and so on and so forth, even Nigeria and like East Africa. But most jokes come in like an anti-Arab way. So for instance, when somebody's wearing the turban and you keep clowning that shit, because you have on multiple occasions, that's not necessarily something that's like exclusive to Muslims. But you clown that, no problem. You don't even give a f***.
How many times have I made fun of people where... I think I made like two towel head jokes in my whole f***ing life. Yeah, and you know what? If I accidentally hit a Sikh on that, then he could say, hey, bro, I'm not fucking... I don't even know what the f***, if that's our own religion or not. Yeah, that's possible. And I pick up. But hey, guess what? If I saw I'm pretty sure I made fun of Ben Shapiro wearing a yarmulke. But again, most Jewish people don't...
That's as far as it goes with you and like making fun of Jews.
Okay, give me other Jew jokes. I'm waiting. Give me other good Jew jokes. Give me a couple. Give me two.
But you won't accept any that point out towards their features or make fun of their big nose, for instance. Or if you make like, then you'll be like, that's making fun of an ethnicity.
That would be the equivalent of me calling like a Muslim like a sand N-word. Okay, what do you mean? We're not talking. When I'm talking about suicide bombers, you think that being a suicide bomber is a phenotype of an Arab? What the f is that comparison, bro?
Okay, hold on. But when you make fun of the traditional wear that people in Arab nations wear, right?
Yes, I will, because it looks silly.
Easily be interpreted as just being anti-Arab. You know that, right?
Okay, so fine. Like, then in that case, I'm also okay. Then fine. Then in that case, yesterday, you know what? I spent like 20 minutes making fun of Jews that have the weird hair. I didn't even know that was their real hair. I thought that was hats. Okay, when I was talking about Hasidic Jews. So there you go. But you know what? Most Jews you talk to are also going to say the hair is goofy as f***. Those are weird people. Like.
You keep doing that defense, by the way. What? The defense of, if I talk to most Jews, they denounce all the crazy shit in their faith that I would like to make fun of. Like we spoke about the foreskin and sucking baby penis and whatever. You said, you know what? I would clown that. But here's the thing. Jews would join me in clowning that shit. You always say that.
Because most of them, I don't even know if most Jews are religious.
No. Here's the thing. You focus on extremist pockets of Muslims to justify your hate, which you said probably a few days ago.
Justify hate. Hold on. I don't like the religion.
But okay, thank you. You brought that up. When you say you don't like the religion, when the religion is literally seen as a guideline, as a way for people to live their lives by, does that then not mean that you hate the practitioner as well? Or are you trying to do this scope thing where you're trying to separate the two when in all reality, this person that you apparently don't have a problem with Yeah, you have a problem with their faith. Yet this person literally lives their life by the faith. How can you create that separation?
The same way I do with
I'm
Christians, the same way that I do with Jews, the same way with any religious person that
How?
lives
What's
their
that
life.
same way? Go into it.
It's
What's that same way?
you say
And by the
you
way,
have,
Christians and Muslims is not the same. It's not the same.
How is it
As a
not the
Christian,
same?
I could be a no, no. I could be a good Christian without genuinely. Because here's the thing: well, be kind to others. Don't steal. Don't cheat. Don't. Sure, these are common human decency things, but there are literally generally things in Islam that you have to follow day to day to day to day. It's a lot more, I'd say, strict in the way that you carry out your life when it comes to you being a Muslim. So when you hate the faith, yeah, you're trying to act like you don't hate the person. It doesn't make any sense. This person is literally living pretty much like almost like a lot of the important aspects of their life is surrounding faith. How could you create that separation? I'm genuinely curious. Tell me.
if that's how intertwined their shit is, then I just don't like that part of them. What do you want me to say? Do I have to accept it because it's religious?
Like the major part
If you
of
want
it?
to, if it is a major part of you, then you are a sad human being, and I probably wouldn't like you anyway. Is that what you want me to say? I'll say that if that makes you feel better.
No, no, it's not. It's not. First of all, don't package it as like if you want me to say that, I'll say that. Just say what you actually feel, because when I see you trying to make the claim, I just hate the faith, not the people. I just find it a bit delusional or slightly copious because, like I told you, you can't do that. Number one. Number two, when it comes to your jokes, right? If Russell Peters made those jokes, if Andrew Schultz made those jokes, not because they're comedians, right? I wouldn't have a problem with them. It's not because they're comedians, but because they haven't sat online and just branded themselves proudly as Islamophobic. You won't sit there and be like, dude, I am super anti-Judaism. I hate the Jewish faith. I think it's deplorable. I think it's disgusting. I just hate it. You wouldn't do that.
Because first of all,
you wouldn't say that.
because the amount of Jews that follow the Jewish faith are different. If you want me to criticize the Jewish faith, the most of the time I do it in response to, say when we're talking about Israel, usually when I'm talking about the settlements, we're talking about like crazy far-right, ultra-nationalist, ultra-Zionist, sometimes religious people. Like, but I'm pretty sure even in Israel, like half of the Jews in Israel, the country dedicated to them, like half of these people aren't even religious. They're secular. Like, there's just not a comparison to be made here. You're desperately looking for it. It just doesn't exist. And I'm going to ask you for the 27th time, can you give me an anti-Jewish joke about the Jewish religion and not the Jewish ethnicity?
There's plenty of things, but if I were to
Give me
bring
one.
them up to you, you know, no, hold on.
Oh
If
my
I were
God.
to bring them up to you, wait, I'm answering you. You just don't like the answer. Deal with it. If I were to bring them up to you, you'd use the same reasoning that you just did. Not many people follow the faith. It's irrelevant. Why would I make fun of it if nobody gives a flying That's what you'd say. So at that point, that's just a get out of jail free card of ever trying to stand on your word.
Because if I'm trying to hold on,
equally.
no, Q. Because I'm not a woke progressive woke scold like you're being right now. Where when I try to write
That's how you
offensive
act
jokes,
with Islam,
no,
right?
you're like, Destiny. If you're gonna tell offensive jokes, you need to write down every single religion, and you need to make sure that you have one bad joke for every single one, so that's even. If you're telling an offensive joke, usually you're trying to trigger somebody. Why would I tell an offensive joke about Jews when I know nobody gives a? Most Jewish people are gonna look at me and go, "Ha, that's either funny or they're not gonna care," and everybody else is gonna be like, "I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about because nobody knows about this." Whereas when I say one thing about Muslims, I get 4 billion death threats in my inbox because you guys get triggered. So of course that's the joke you're gonna tell. What do you mean?
So in comparison to Muslims, you don't believe that Jews get that offended, so you don't go after them just because of that reason. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, of
just
course.
Because, right,
yeah, nobody Jews don't give a fuck when you make fun of their religion.
Lose their mind though.
Yeah,
like there are people that will lose their mind.
Who? Okay, give me one example of it happening.
You're telling me that these people, because you acknowledge that there are Jews that adhere to their faith, just like a Muslim would, like genuinely adhere to their faith, and not just I'm a Jew by
and
like.
I would fight with those Jews, but most of those Jews are too retarded to even log onto the internet. Okay, these guys are going out with horses and weird hats and trying to open up new houses and next to Palestinians that they can kill. Okay, most of these Jews don't post online. The Jewish people that post online are young kids that go to the people that live in the U.S. and shit. What do you mean? Like the types of Jews that are online are secular. What are you talking about? I can't even get to these people to make fun of them.
Sure. I take your point on that, but even in your coverage of Israel-Palestine,
yeah,
the amount of jokes, stirring garbage that you said about Palestinians infinitely increases. Like it's way more than what you did about the Israelis. Because when you speak about the people that are hard to find, they're right there. You just spoke about them a little bit when you're like, oh, these people are just out there trying to kill Palestinians and illegally settle their lands. But when it comes to your coverage, you never make any sort of edgy jokes towards those people. Never. But about the Palestinians, you repeatedly did that shit. Even prior to the entire war that happened. Like, you were on.
What do we? Yeah, wait. I don't, because nobody wants to fight or argue on that point. It's obvious, and we move on. It should be the same with Hamas. There shouldn't be anything to say about Hamas. Everybody should say, like, yeah, Hamas is pretty horrible. The attacks on October 7th were pretty bad. If they said that, nobody would be talking about it. The only reason why people are talking about it so much is because so many people try to defend it.
So because you know you'll receive pushback if you do a certain thing, you do it. So you know that if you say anti-Muslim jokes and you like up it to an 11 when it comes to the disrespect, you know the response that you're gonna get, and that's why you do it.
When you're telling an offensive joke or you're trying to get under somebody's skin, you're choosing something that's going to bother the person. So in a way, yes, when you're insulting somebody, you're trying to make them feel bad. That's what it means to insult somebody. Yes, that's the whole point.
Would you feel bad? Would you feel bad? Okay, sure. You know what? I give you everything that we spoke about, right? Mm-hmm. So would you feel bad for a retard that went out of his way to poke the bear and then get his ass bit? Because that's what you're doing pretty much at this point. You know, that's what you're doing pretty much. You acknowledge that there's certain, and by the way, they're not the majority. That's how you always try to.
It depends on what we mean by poking the bear. Okay, if somebody making fun of your religion is encouraging you to take unhinged actions to kill that person, you've got the problem, and you are incompatible with the world that it exists today, and you should be removed from it. That's my position.
We've had this conversation plenty of times.
Yeah, we have.
If you were to go out in public, and you were to go up to a person and all of a sudden just start going in on their goddamn mom or going in on their family, and then they beat the fuck out of you, 9 out of 10 people will tell you that was deserved. We act as though this is something that's completely different when it comes to religion. Most people will resort to physical violence when it comes to disrespect of things that they value.
Number one.
So when you say society, that means you just want to cancel out 99% of society and just leave the people that are
number one. Okay, listen. Okay, Muhammad is not your father. Okay, it's not your family. See, number one. But
who are you to decide how important my faith is to me, though? That's your problem, right?
Who am I to decide how important your fucking pet rat or your computer screen is to you? What do you mean? I'm a human being that can place appropriate levels of values on things. Okay, it's totally equivalent. You don't have the right to decide which things. Like, if I'm the biggest Matrix 1 fanatic in the world, and I find out that there's somebody that thinks that like Revolution's gonna Reloaded, why is it not comparable? Why do you get to decide that?
Nobody lives their life by the Matrix. Number one.
You don't know that? I'm sure we can find a few schizos in my audience that do.
Go ahead. How about go ahead and name them? Because you waited for me to name a couple of people. Go ahead and name them.
Do you want me to forward you? So, I mean, there was the one guy, Mouthpiece user, that bald dude that got arrested for making threats near that school that used to email me. I'm sure he probably watches the Matrix one.
Don't bite the bullet on this shit. You don't have to.
Don't bite the bullet. Okay, so then you agree then that the pronoun people are okay for trying to kill people or for canceling people if they're upset because you don't use the right pronouns, then that's okay for them? You would defend their right? Would you defend their right to demand the right pronouns? Otherwise, they can cancel or kill whoever misgenders them?
No. Here's your problem.
Okay, tell me my problem.
Here's a lot of people's problem. Here's a lot of people's problems as well. Just because I acknowledge the way of the world and how things operate doesn't mean that I'm co-signing it. Never have I ever once co-signed, even though the shit that
you have absolutely. Oh wait, we can test this right now. We can test this right now. Do you think that if you're a Muslim and you hear somebody insult your faith, do you think you have like a responsibility to Islam if you believe in your faith to go and defend it, to go and beat that person up?
Defend your faith. I don't believe that you should like break the nigga or kill him or like. I don't believe that.
Punch him, attack him.
I don't believe that.
This is the difference between you and me. Do you understand how much? No. The fact that you even struggle, nothing that you says, literally nothing you says past this point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say. It's not a game. Try with me. Do me next. Do me next. Say, Steven, if somebody makes fun of Christianity, if somebody makes fun of American people or America, should you walk up and punch that person? I don't have to say anything. Should I beat the shit out of somebody? Should I attack somebody? Should I shoot somebody? It's so easy.
There's nothing you hold in your heart that is similar to what people of faith hold their religion as. There isn't. So
that's not true. What do you mean? If somebody were to go in on like a family member or if somebody go in on like a personal friend, especially to my face, then maybe, I would obviously feel differently about that. The fact that you're delusional enough, no offense, to compare Sky Daddy God to a guy's actual personal friend, and the fact that you're comparing people saying shit on the internet to screaming something about a personal friend in your face is delusional.
Stop.
Yeah.
When it comes to me denouncing people hurting you or punching you or whatever, my faith doesn't tell me to go kill you or even punch you or even lay a finger on you, by the way. It's not from my faith. It's me. It's not my faith. It's me. The hesitation came from me. That's where you need to draw the differentiation. It's not because my faith tells me to go hurt you or kill you. No, my faith tells me to go defend it the right way. It doesn't tell me to go slaughter this thing because he's shit talking Islam. No,
how do you make sense of so many people? How do you make sense of my faith? Sure. Okay, I'm just curious from a Muslim point of view. How do you make sense of so many people then that use jihad as an example or as an excuse or as a rationale to go and fight against the enemies of Islam?
When you say the enemies of Islam, what are we talking about? People that
depends on who you ask. If it's ISIS, it's literally everybody. Okay, we could ask Bin Laden. I'm not Muslim. I don't have a position on this. I think it's all retarded. If you ask Bin Laden, it was everybody in the West was an enemy of Islam, right? He was encouraging of you in his letter to America. He was encouraging people to convert, and that one of the reasons he attacks us is because we don't worship the one true God. So I'm asking you, what does jihad mean to you, if not people using Islam to justify violent attacks against people that aren't Muslim?
First of all, it is indicative of your viewing or the way that you see Islam, that every single time that you bring up something about Islam, you always go to ISIS, Al-Qaeda, terrorist groups. Number one. Number two.
I'm sorry, we could use Iran. Do you want to use countries?
What, countries that even most Muslims don't agree with? Because most Muslims are not here just simping for Iran, by the way. So that even wouldn't work, right? You asked the wrong person.
Oh, so I have to go with the majority opinion of people that all worship and live in slightly different ways.
Not necessarily. Most people, when it comes to the most Muslims, 95% similarity. There's just a few things that are different. Okay. That's it. Number one. Number two, right? When it comes to the jihad, it means dying for your faith in protection of it. If somebody bears arms against you, you have the right to bear arms back and go fight them. That's what it means. It doesn't mean, hey, go ahead and go kill that random person. That is not what it means. And it has never meant that. But that's the way that you see it. That's the problem. And like I said,
wait, to be clear, that's not the way that I see it. That's the way that a lot of extremist, jihadist, Islamist groups see it. To be clear, not just me.
You keep bringing them up, though. No, yeah, but you keep bringing them up.
Of course I'm bringing them up.
We're talking about Islam, but you're trying so hard to push this terrorist.
I'm not trying hard to do that. ISIS and Al-Qaeda did that. I'm just pointing out that it happens.
And here's the fun part, right?
Yeah.
Here's the funny, ironic part.
Okay, tell me.
The vast majority of the victims of Al-Qaeda, of ISIS, are Muslim people.
Wow, and the vast majority of black shooters are black people, and the vast majority of white shooters are white people. Congratulations. People tend to victimize those around them. Yes, that is true. Thank you. True.
That isn't the case. When you try to sit here, because you claim that you're not trying to do that, but again, that's how it's coming across, and it's a problem with the way that you communicate your point.
What's coming across like what?
No, I'll tell you. Hold on. I'll tell you. When we talk about Islam, when we talk about people that practice their faith, when we talk about their response to certain fucking shit that's said by people like you, but what's your thoughts about jihad? What's your thought about like that terrorist group and that terrorist group and this terrorist group and that terrorist group? You always go towards terrorism. You always go towards terrorists as a way to see how the average person or average Muslim.
I'm not saying that's the average person. Listen, okay? It's not that it's the average person. It's just a rich repository for jokes. Do you think the average Catholic priest is a racist?
No.
Then why didn't you intervene when everybody's making jokes today about Catholic priests? Because it's a funny way to joke about Catholics.
Did I intervene when they were making the Muslim shit as well? I literally let 99% of it.
Yeah, you did. No, that was literally the time you got the most heavily involved in the show is when they started talking about Islam. What are you talking about?
No. When I started talking about Islam is when Pisco said that Islam has also changed over history. And I said, no, just because there's different schools of thought doesn't mean that the faith itself has changed. That's what I came in. Not when they were making the jokes. It was Vito pretty much. But I didn't come in when that shit was happening. So you got to get it right. All I'm saying is when you talk to like Christians or when you talk to like religious, like Ben Shapiro types, right? Your like Islam jokes always come out in full effect when you're talking to a person that has that faith, that practices it. And in these red pill spaces, even like a Ben Shapiro type, I know you haven't spoken to him yet, but still, the example works, right? You never go towards their faith. Most of the time, you never touch it.
I'll ask you again for the 50 millionth time, what anti-joke can I make against Ben Shapiro? I don't even know what the fuck I would say. You keep him. I've asked you this question like 50 times. You don't have a single one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just put it to you simply, and you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
You tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Is Ben Shapiro not one of those people that you would view as those super religious guys that probably don't use the internet, but he just happens to be one of them?
No, he's no.
What you're telling me? He's not like super Jew over here, like.
I seriously doubt he is. If he is, he keeps it quiet. I don't think he's ultra. I don't think Ben Shapiro's about to go hop in a settlement and do some shit. He's like a tradcon person. But also, maybe he does.
The same guy that shat on Arabs, he went farther than you've ever done. Like, he generally, like, did the pretty much like mud people type shit. Like he did that.
Yeah, he was wrong for those statements. But also remember, that wasn't a joke that he said. That was just something mean.
He was serious.
Yeah, that was something totally different.
Serious.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that person that held those beliefs and is still like, he's still pretty much the same guy. He hasn't like softened, or he hasn't like been like, oh, you know what, I'm Jewish, but you know we should really take into consideration all these innocent Palestinians and Muslims and da da da. He hasn't done any of that. So
if I would have found, bro, I don't understand. I'll ask you one more time because you proved my point a million times. You know a ton of anti-Islam jokes. You know a ton of anti-Muslim jokes. You haven't
because I've received them.
Okay.
I've received. The only reason I know them is
you can't give me a single one about Jewish people
because I don't go out of my way seeking those jokes.
Bro, you don't have to go out of your way. Half the Arab world thinks all the Jews run every thing in the West anyway. You're telling me you didn't hear any anti-Jewish joke growing up from your parents, from your school, from your mosque? You didn't hear a single one? There's no shot, motherfucker. I know you've heard anti-Jew jokes before.
God strike me dead if I'm lying. I swear to God. I've heard more anti-Muslim jokes in the Muslim country that I lived in than anti-Jew jokes.
Okay, in that case, if you're, not to be racist or Islamophobic, but if you're a Somalian man that doesn't know anti-Jewish jokes, why the would I know any?
Because you're the one who's more involved in these communities.
Oh my God.
Interacts with these people more. You're the more edgier person. Plus, you got 20 years on me. That's why. Are you telling me these are not valid? What? Oh, stop painting me crazy. Stop it. You're telling me you don't know any Jew jokes that don't involve their ethnicity? Like, you be honest. I was honest when I told you my point of view, right? No, I was being honest. You tell me. You don't know? You don't know any
The
jokes
only
that,
Jew jokes I
could
could even possibly think of are Holocaust jokes. That's literally it.
You are a mean motherfucker, bro. I didn't even think about that. Come on. That's not...
Jewish people, bro, literally once they got kicked out of their Judea and all that, they were literally like, we're just gonna our religion and worship in temples and whatever the they don't give a about anything, okay? You guys spent thousands of years trying to build caliphites all over the Middle East and doing all your crazy shit all over the world. Of course, people are gonna have different ideas. And Christians went all over the world trying to convert every person they could find to Christianity, okay? The people that Jewish people want to convert the most are older Jews that stopped going to temple, okay? There's a reason why there's all these jokes about Christians and Muslims and nobody knows any jokes about Jewish people, okay?
You mentioned the whole banking shit. You mentioned the whole control. You mentioned the world is run by Jews, blah, blah.
Yeah, but keep in mind, no. Hold on, be very careful. Those aren't Jewish religion jokes. Those are Jewish ethnicity jokes. And I do make those jokes, but those jokes are way more edgy than suicide bomber jokes, okay? Those jokes are way more edgy than suicide bomber jokes.
Oh, how so? Now
because a suicide bomber joke is a joke about your religion, obviously, okay? Jews run the world is on some cultural Bolshevism pro-Nazi. That would be more akin to me making anti-Arab jokes. That'd be more akin to me like calling you a monkey or something. That's more on that line. Or like Arab people or brown people or blah, 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 blah. There's a difference.
There absolutely is not. The only difference is not the one that you just stated. That was a hyperbolic, extreme exaggeration. It is not that close. When it comes to Jews controlling the world, when it comes to Jews being in the banking industry, when it comes to Jews favoring other Jewish people, when it comes to interest or loans or a lot of that stems from their faith, by the way. Like the whole financial, how you control money and all that stuff, you could look it up. I'm not making this up. It comes from their faith. I have never, ever, ever, and I could be like an anomaly here, I have never associated those jokes with the ethnicity. I associate it with the faith. Because they always say, the Jewish, like, banking world or it's because of their actions. It never falls because of, if I said big nose or whatever, sure, you'd be correct. I'd be wrong. But it's not about their, like, characteristic, like their body or whatever, their actions, the shit they do. So it really isn't. And by the way, just because you see those jokes as Nazi-ish or whatever, you know, most people that make suicide bombing jokes is like the ultra most like Islamophobic people that are like far right extremist nationalist leagues in Europe that are trying to purge Europe of Muslims and going out of their way to commit hate crimes. Those are the people that make those jokes the most.
Yeah,
but
some
you
of them
don't
are.
see them as one.
No, you don't, because now all those people are pro-Islam because they think Christianity is gay and Islam is base.
No,
so
you're falling for the red pill garbage.
I'm
it's not.
They are.
Not.
And now I'm over here, and you know what? Now I'm the guy that has to make those jokes. I've got to carry this cross or camel, whatever it is. I've got to carry it alone.
That's an
okay?
issue.
I have to do it. I have to do it. Now the conservatives have abandoned Islam. I have to take that mantle up, and that's my burden to carry. Okay, and I accept that.
Now listen. you say this like ironically, like
I'm giving you the final word, and I gotta host Irrelevant and go to dinner. Go ahead.
That's how you move, by the way. Like super contrarian. If people are moving right, you move to the left just for shits and giggles. But all I'm gonna say is, if you genuinely recognize the risks that come with your jokes, why should people feel bad?
That's like saying, like, if a
you tell me.
I'm telling you, if a slave runs away from a house and he gets shot in the back, would you be like, wow, why'd you? No, it is. If you're
try again. That is a
people should not be attacking or killing people because somebody's joking about your religion. If you're doing that,
they shouldn't. No, they should. Sure, you said this shit that everybody agrees with. I agree.
You don't agree with that.
Right?
You don't agree with that. You don't agree with that. You don't agree with that.
I agree. Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree.
Okay.
When it comes fundamentally to my faith, to my belief, to the way that I see life, I agree.
Okay.
When it comes to me emotionally as a person, sure, I get heated. If somebody makes fun of my religion in front of my face or makes fun of my family, bro, I'll get heated, obviously. Sure. But what I'm telling you right now is, you knowing the consequences of your actions, genuinely knowing, if I do this, it's pretty much a guarantee that I'm going to get this, but you still do it. It is literally akin to you poking the bear, but when you get bit, I'm supposed to feel bad? I'm supposed to feel bad?
When am I asking you to feel? Hold on. Who am I asking?
I'm just saying, because...
When am I... Wait, what do you mean you're just saying? When have I ever asked you to feel...
a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
How do I victimize myself?
Just a tiny bit.
Wait, how do I...
I'll tell you. Can I tell you?
Yeah, tell me.
Thank you. When you act as though it's a shocker, oh my God, I said this about Islam, and then all of a sudden, all these unhinged people are coming at me. This is crazy. This is insane. This is super.
Hold on. You're conflating so many things. Hold on. I'm not... First of all, it is crazy, and it is insane, but I'm not shocked by it. Muslims are the most fragile people in the world. You're the easiest motherfuckers to farm ever. Like, yeah, no shit.
Again, watch your wording. You're the easiest people to farm, and then you go into it, farm as in how? Oh, I know if I say X, Y, and Z, you'll be pissed off, and you'll give me the reaction that I'm looking for. But once I get the reaction that I'm looking for, I'll then proceed to go online and shit on you to just justify my Islamophobia. So it's literally, you don't try to you don't try to seek good. Let's be honest. You don't try to seek the positive. You don't try to seek the shit that doesn't confirm your biases. You try to seek the shit that makes sure, oh, I knew these people are fucked up. I knew these people are bad. So you know what? Because again, when it came to Aiden, more people in his community that doxed you are Christians. More people are like just like completely detached away from Islam. But the messages that you focused on pushing out were the Muslim ones. Is that simple? Is that?
Because I hate Arabs. It's the root of everything.
Even when it comes to Christianity, you don't go that hard. I mean, according to you, it's because they're soy, I guess. Or they're soy, they wouldn't go as hard as Muslims.
Literally, that's literally what Muslims say, right?
You believe that as well, because if you didn't, you would have been going at Christians as hard as you go at Muslims.
Bro, I grew up as an atheist in the 2000s. I've like exhausted all of the Christian jokes I can possibly say. But like Christians online don't even fucking care anymore. Bro, you know how I used to make fun of Christians 6 or 7 years ago when conservatives were Christian by saying, hey, you guys sound like Muslims. But listen, there's like none of them to make fun of anymore. Now they all are Islam, so now that's all I got to shit on because I'm an atheist and that's what we do. So listen, at some point, they're all going to swing back to being Christian again. I'll go back to making fun of them. We can lock side by side, okay, arm in arm, and shit on the Christians together. But you know,
I'm not. Listen.
Yeah.
I love all my people of faith. You know what I mean? I'm not going to shit on Christians. I'm not going to shit on Jews. All I'm going to say is, when I see somebody that goes hard on a certain group, you know what?
And when we say goes hard, we means like makes 4 jokes.
No. This not makes 4 jokes. It's literally goes online and proudly proclaims, I hate Islam. I'm an Islamophobe. Yes, I despise them. Every chance that comes up where I can show the people.
Same thing with same thing with Christians. Yep.
So
true. True. Yeah.
Okay, I agree to disagree.
I love you. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a happy holiday. Okay. Be careful.